the first Adam failed by what? By food. The spiritual Adam became dead Adam. Pay attention to this word. In Matthew chapter 4, verse 1 to 11. Matthew chapter 4, verse 1 to 11. The Bible said, then Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. Jesus was what? Led. Was it by the devil? No. Was it by his enemies? No. Was it by his friends? No. He was led by who? By the Spirit. By the Spirit. Into the wilderness, not into a luxurious house. Listen, everybody seated here will go through a moment called your wilderness moment. But how fast you come out of that wilderness does not even depend on God, but it depends on you. You see, a lazy Christian is a Christian who sits down and says, God will do it. God will do it. God will do it. There are things God will never do. He requires you to do it. A lazy Christian is the one who shifts responsibilities God has placed on them back onto God and say, Lord, I see you are telling me to do this, but I just don't feel like doing it. So I shift it back to you and I walk with the slogan, oh, God will do it. God will do it. God will do it. You have been saying God will do something for the last 30 years of your life and it's not happening. Do you not see a pattern in your life that needs to be broken? So watch. He was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by who? By the devil. After fasting 40 days and 40 nights, that is where the preparation was. In order for you to conquer your demons, my God, in order for you to come out of the wilderness as a champion, in order for you to come out of that marital crisis or that health crisis, you must prepare. Some of us live our life as if there will never be adversity. We think that every day, just because we came to God, every day is going to be roses and flowers. There are days you will go through trials, tribulations, temptations. There are days the enemy will wage war on you. But how to come out of that war victorious is the preparation you were making before even the battle even began. The Bible says he fasted for what? 40 days, 40 nights. The point here is that the first Adam failed by what? By food. When the devil came and presented something like an apple to him, the Bible says he saw it and it was pleasing. And he did what? He decided to bite it. He decided to eat. He decided to partake in it. And because of that, the spiritual Adam became dead Adam. He lost all that God had given him. He lost his spirituality. He lost the garden. He lost the provision of God. Now he was supposed to toil. Hear the word, toil before he can even eat. This is not how God designed man. God designed us that there will always be divine provision and supply. In the Garden of Eden, even rain was not coming down. The dew from the earth was what was watering the herbs and everything. Everything was made perfect for Adam to what? Succeed in life and his calling. And he failed. So when Jesus came, he knew the task ahead. How many of you have looked in your family and have seen negative patterns, have seen demonic patterns, have seen evil patterns? You have seen where men in your family fail. You have seen where women in your family fail. You have seen how marriages don't go right. You have seen how people in your family walk in poverty. And you have inquired from the Lord, what must I do so when the day of adversity comes? I know my mother was married for 10 years, but the 11th hour she failed. There was a divorce. What must I do that I will make it to the 12th year without a divorce? That I will make it to the 13th year without a divorce? Jesus looked ahead. He said, Adam ate the fruit. Now, I'm going to practice what we call fasting. I will abstain myself from food. So when he come again to try to cause me to fall, I will be able to stand against him and say, man shall not live by bread alone. If I stayed without food for 40 days, how much more just one more day that I cannot say I will not eat? So when the devil presented the stone, he said, eat, eat. And Jesus said, nah, man shall not live by bread alone.